Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Wednesday in July. We hope you're all having a wonderful summer and keeping busy, no doubt. I'm Emily Rahana. I'm the Director of Sales here at 55 Places, and I'm joined by my fabulous team. I'm sure you have interacted with all of them. I see some new names and faces on our webinar today, so I'm excited that you made some time to join us and some of our seasoned veterans. So what we wanted to do today, just a high-level overview, is we wanted to take some time and talk about some foundational basics of our program and of Huddle. So last month in June, if you had the opportunity to either join us or watch the recording, we sat down with some of our partner agents in the program across the country to talk about their success opportunities. Some of these partner agents were new. Some have been with us for quite a while. Some are in destination markets. Some are in some not quite a destination travel market. And we really listened to what they shared for the program that led them to success. And really what we heard was a few things. One, that they had a structured process in place for their business. And then really it was the basic key parts of Huddle that they were using and performing, responding quickly, following up, setting up appointments, and utilizing Huddle every day. So we're going to talk about some of those things today. We're going to point out some common and frequently asked questions and where to find them. And then we'll allow time for you all to ask any questions that we'll be able to demonstrate live. So we'll go ahead and get started. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cover some basic information, one being our team structure. If you're not familiar with all of our faces, we have our sales manager who runs our program, Mackenzie Huddleston. She is on today. She has been with us for quite some time and is a true expert on all things Huddle and what it takes to be successful in this program. Jennifer Baldwin is our sales administration manager. She is a seasoned employee with a wealth of knowledge that keeps all of the things that you see happening in the background, like this webinar, going in the right direction. Jackie Goodman is also a seasoned veteran with us, a real estate agent herself, former partner agent. Likely several of you have sat down and met with her to talk about maybe some of the successes or challenges within the program. Ruby Manuel is our sales coordinator. She's based out of Seattle, also a real estate professional herself, and you have likely heard from her as well. All very important parts of our team, and then myself and our Chief Revenue Officer, Chad Walker. If you noticed in their newsletter, you will have the opportunity, an exciting opportunity, to hear from him next month in August. He is going to Inman here at the end of July. He's going to be hosting a webinar with himself and Khadijah Johnson to talk about their takeaways from Inman and help address just kind of some of the needs of the real estate market. So that is us in a nutshell. And talking about, now that you know us, and maybe you didn't know all of us before, where do you go for help within the program? So there's a couple different places. First and foremost, you can email us at the sales manager team email at 55 Places. It's there at the top. You can also submit a ticket through the partneragentsupport.com portal. There are several different actions that you can take from that, either updating your headshot, a change in brokerage, which is an important step that happens before you change. You notify us so we can immediately get that going for you. Help with Huddle, payment help, call center help. And there's also, when you log into your Huddle homepage, right here on the homepage, there's this help button. And if you've seen it, but we're unsure of what it does or where it goes, all it does is it automatically generates a draft email for you to this email address right here. That email address is critical for you guys to remember or save, because it goes to all of us. I know that several of you have a great relationship with maybe any one person in this program, and Mackenzie, but they do take time off. So the great part about keeping this email is it will go to all of us. We will all be able to take a look at the request and make sure you get a response and get help right away. A couple housekeeping items with the call itself today. This is a webinar style, so don't worry, we don't see you, we don't hear you, so no need to be worried about your Zoom etiquette. And if you have any questions, we ask that you use the Q&A in the Zoom, and the team will be monitoring it. I was just pulling it up. I apologize. The team will be monitoring it. answering questions if they are able. If not, we'll keep an eye on and try to answer them live or show you where to go or direct you where to go for those questions and follow up accordingly. Everyone will remain muted as well. All right, so let's jump forward to a couple very basic things that are important if we're new or even if we've been a part of the program for a long time. And these are some definitions within the program that we talk about and are important to remember. They were a part of your referral agreement that you signed. The first one is, what is a lead? So there's a few different sources here that talks about a lead. We get, and this is brought up because we get emails and questions about I'm unsure of if this is considered a lead or I will owe you a referral fee on it. So this helps outline it. So it would be somebody that submits for additional information pertaining to properties or neighborhoods from the website, submits their personal contact information or personal contact information on behalf of another person. That's important because we have a lot of people that will go on the website and inquire on behalf of their mom, on behalf of an aunt or their dad, whatever the case is, a friend, family member. Either of those, a referral fee would be due. Calls a phone number listed on the website. Requests to be contacted by an agent or contacts the agent directly as a result of finding the agent on the website, even if the initial contact is not derived from the websites. And the company may inquire information about a lead through a number of means, including affiliate partnerships or other marketing efforts. So I just want to outline that. I will say that there are several of you that raise your hand and say, hey, this person found me on my agent bio page. And then they got my phone number and they called me. So the lead is not in Huddle. Can you add it? It's absolutely the right thing to do because that falls into the E category of the definition of a lead. All right, so who can work with our leads? This is also an important one. So definitions from the agreement for associated agent. So you may designate or allow an associate agent to respond to, communicate with, or provide other real estate or consultative services on behalf of yourself. But before that agent is permitted to interact with the leads, the associated agent must be identified on your referral agreement, and they are required to have a signed referral agreement with the company. They must agree to and are bound by all the terms of the agreement, just as you are. This would have been on a page, it's kind of small, but right here on the page of your referral agreement that talks about or identifies the name, the email address, and whether they're licensed or not. Most of you have let us know. We have sent out a lot of communication recently about letting us know if there's somebody that works with you or your leads so we can get them on your agreement. This does not mean that they're on our website. They do not get leads directly to themselves. This is just somebody that works with you, maybe helps with some of those showings while you're otherwise tied up or out of office. If there is somebody that does that you have not let us know, please reach out to that sales manager team email so we can make sure that the paperwork is in order. All right, pre-existing relationship. This is an important one. The next one that we're going to talk about is our audit process. And I just want to make sure that you are all informed as much as possible when it comes to these two pieces of information. Of course, working in our market and with other referral sources, it's absolutely possible that you may have somebody that comes through the website that you have a pre-existing relationship with. We had an example the other day of a partner agent that there was a family member that couldn't find their contact information and went through the website to get in touch with them. And it even said that in the notes, right? I couldn't find your contact information. So we were able to obviously understand that this was a pre-existing relationship. The agent let us know. We were able to document it to make sure that if a transaction were to occur with that person, it wouldn't be identified or flagged on an audit. So what do you need to do if you receive a lead of somebody that you have a pre-existing relationship with? So we ask that within 48 hours of receiving that lead, you notify us, and then we would need some previous communication within the last 90 days, whether that's from emails, communication back and forth, phone, or some kind of personal interaction. What would not count is like a mass marketing effort, right? Like you just happen to have this person's email from something from 6 years ago and they're on a newsletter drip or an email campaign. That would not constitute correspondence to prove a pre-existing relationship. So again, if you receive a lead that you have a pre-existing relationship with, notify Mackenzie, that sales manager, email, so we can make sure to work through that for you and note it accordingly. All right, and last important thing that we're going to touch on before we get into the meat of the webinar is our audit process. So some of you may have experienced this already. Some of you may have not. We just want to make sure that you are aware of this so it doesn't catch you off guard. All companies and a good business practice is to audit and inspect their business. So this is something that we will do. We do, and again, was in the referral agreement that we do conduct periodic audits of agent sale activity by surveying leads, monitoring MLS data, public records, and other means. Then there may be something that pops up that has not been put in Huddle or we're unsure of the connection. So you may receive an email indicating that you have been audited and these were the transactions that were flagged. As a reminder, we just want you to know that this is not any type of accusation. It's just an invitation to look through it and to talk through it. We understand that an oversight may happen, or even on our end, that it may have been audited and flagged, but you don't actually, in fact, owe us a referral fee, maybe because of that pre-existing relationship that was missed. So don't be alarmed if it happens. Of course, our auditors are wonderful and they're just wanting to kind of work through that with you to move forward. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause there. I don't see any questions. And we're going to get into some of the basics that we talked about with our top performer webinar last month. One of the important things about being a top performer is you tend to receive the most leads, right? Which is what we all want. So, and that is because the lead distribution, how it works, of course, all agents are in rotation at all times, but our top performing agents will receive typically the most leads. Now, a few notes about this before we dive into it is there are ways to pause leads for yourself. If you don't want to receive leads and inquiries will come through 24 hours of a day. And your response time is calculated between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. local time. So we'll get into response time here in a moment, but just some important notes. If you're new, if you're seasoned, then these are all things you're familiar with. But if you're new, this may be some good information for you. So lead distribution. So a couple of notes that's important to manage that response time is making sure that you have scheduled yourself off if you're going to have a busy day, if you're going to be away. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. So first would be a traditional through the calendar in Huddle. So you can see here, if you log in, you have the calendar tab here at the top, and then you have the schedule time off button. It will bring up a calendar for you to select the days off and then save the request. Now, time off can be requested up to 60 days in advance. If it is further out than that and you have some time off that you need to schedule, you can reach out to us or just set a note for yourself to schedule it off closer to that time. Scheduling it off for yourself, you can only request off 14 days consecutively. But that doesn't mean you can't obviously schedule off more time for yourself than that. You would just need to schedule it as a separate block of time. I encourage you, if that's going to be the case, if you have an extended vacation, which I'm sure would be well deserved, but to let Mackenzie know, please send her an email and let her know if you're planning to be off for an extended period of time, so we can make sure that there's lead coverage during that time away. Now, an additional note here on time away. So one, even if you're scheduled off, if an existing lead, okay, somebody that's already in Huddle inquires about a community or a listing, or you get an inquiry through, those inquiries and emails will still come through, but they do not impact your response time, okay? It's just a notification that your existing customer is actively searching, so those will still push through. If you are an agent that is in a single agent market, meaning you are the only agent that is providing coverage to leads in that market, and you schedule time off, lead notifications will still push through. Now, we do have it in the system that if you schedule this time off and you're in a single agent market and a lead comes through, it will be indicated that you are out of office. So the response time will not be held against you or calculated for that away period. You'll still get the information, and then depending on how you prefer to handle that, you can either follow up or you can let them know you're out of office and follow up when you return. Or again, if you have somebody that is helping you, you can manage it that way. But again, they'll still come through. They just won't count against your response time. Now, another way to request time off, not through the calendar option, perhaps you've been out and you have a busy day stacking up with appointments and you just decide that you need to take yourself off of lead rotation for the rest of the day. You can do this by sending a text to a phone number, and it will remove you for the day. So I encourage you to save this information here. What you can do is text the word off. It does not matter if it's capital, lowercase, or a combination of both, but you will text it to this phone number here. Okay. And this is, you can see here that you'll get a confirmation that you submitted time off. Now, this will just take you off rotation for the day, and you will automatically be added into rotation the next day. All right, great. So moving right along, response time. So again, this is what leads into response time. This is an important message that we received from our partner agents on our top performer panel. They all have an extremely quick response time. The minimum performance benchmark is a 30-minute average, but our peak performance, our top performing agents maintain a 15-minute average. And those agents, those partner agents that were on that call last month, maintain single-digit response time. And they're busy professionals just like yourself, but they still manage to go through and make sure to respond and update Huddle accordingly. Even if that's like we talked about, a lot of them talked about having a template, a text template, if they're in an appointment to send to that new lead. Some other success tips that we have from fellow partner agents are assigning a text tone to new lead notifications. So it kind of identifies and singles out that it's a lead notification, not a normal text. Double checking Huddle at the beginning and end of each day. This was, again, an important reminder that we heard across the board from all of the partner agents last month, is they use Huddle every single day. They use the Huddle app. This last one was from fellow partner agents that some of them consider investing in a smartwatch if they're not near their phone. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at this response time video. So another common concern that we hear from partner agents when we talk about our response time is that it's a little cumbersome to use. So we understand there is a lot of moving parts, and you are on your phone and you're on the go. So we're going to share a video of how it should look when you receive a lead, when you respond and you log that response. If for some reason this is not the experience that you are receiving, you can let us know. I encourage you to try and take screenshots or a screen recording. If you're unsure how to do that, a simple Google search will tell you how to do that from your device. But this was from a mobile device. This was a test lead that we ran through to make sure the system was functioning. So we'll go ahead and share it now. So the lead came in, connected to the lead record from the text message. It's going to open Huddle, right? It's going to pull it up, pulls up the partner agent dashboard, right? Okay, and it's going straight to the new lead that came in. The prompt for the call will pull up here. Calling, there's the phone number that came in for the lead. We called, phone call is over, connected, not connected, whatever the result was. Oops, I forgot to select level of intent. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to save. And all that was done, right? Now it has moved to contact established automatically. So even with a lag in sharing, because that gets a little slowed down through that, it's really a pretty quick succession of events. Now we understand, of course, sometimes maybe you're out and your signal isn't that great, or maybe the app is being a little glitchy. But for the most part, that is how the process should go. I see there's a couple, so someone was asking about the app. We'll get that information out. Jen is responding to that. So again, let's watch this one more time. We're going to go through it one more time so you can see. as the new lead notification comes in via text message and it has the link to the lead notification. That's here, okay? Now, if you are not logged into Huddle, you may be prompted to log into Huddle before this action happens. It's going through. It's going to go straight to the lead record. To call, you can see the call button right there, okay? Phone number, there it is. We'll simulate that we've made the call. And then after that call is over, you will be prompted with the connected, not connected box and the level of intent. Now, I do just want to go back right here because this is also another common question right here. So if we are in this task, say we connected the call was great, and we've let the person know we're going to call them again tomorrow. Excuse me. What you are able to do here, you can, if you have the time to do so, if you're free to set up the next task, you can go through, select your call result. We connected. I know when they're looking to purchase or what their journey looks like, and then you can save. That will log that task and move the stage, or you can select to save and new. Save and new will log this task, move the stage, and open up a new box for you to set up another task to call them back at whatever time it was that you guys determined. So if you determine you're going to call them back in a day, you can go ahead and set that up while it's fresh in your mind. Okay. So let's take a quick look here. I'm going to take a look at the Q&A and we'll pause about this here. All right, so there was a question about the call counting against your time to call back. Sometimes the client talks for 20 to 30 minutes when Huddle is updated 30 minutes after the lead coming in. It should not, because what will happen is when that link is selected, right? When you go through this process and you are here, right? And you're calling, that's when the timer stops. Okay, when you make that connection and you've gone to the lead record and you have called, the timer will stop. For that very reason, for the reason that sometimes you may be on the phone with them for 30 minutes plus. Okay. So if you have any examples of that you want to share, there was a partner agent that asked about that. We can look into it, but also remember that this is an average. This is a 90-day rolling average, because we understand that you're busy. You may be on an appointment. Sometimes things happen. You may not be able to get back to them right away. And that average will flatten out. Okay. If you have one bad response time, it's not going to ruin everything. Okay. Let's see here. Wendy, I see your question. I am going to answer that. I'll answer that offline. I'm positive the answer is yes, but I just want to triple check and make sure. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next part of our webinar today. So talking about now that we have made contact or not, depending on whatever is next, say we're at the attempted contact stage. So there's two things that will happen that are good for you to be mindful or aware of from the customer standpoint. So first of all, when a customer reaches out to us, if they want to receive text message communication, they have to opt into text messages from us to see this. So not everybody gets this. They have to say, yes, I want text messages for this to happen. But if you reach out to a customer and they don't answer, so on that video we just watched, instead of saying connected, we say not connected, this is what they'll receive. They will receive a text message that lets them know that their partner agent, and it'll have your name, reached out about the community they inquired about and was unable to reach them. Okay, so they're going to get this text message that says, hey, your partner agent attempted to call you and was unable to reach you. When would be the best time for us to try reaching you again? So this gives them an opportunity to let us know if they would like a call back within the next 24 hours, whether in the morning, afternoon, or evening. If it's the afternoon and they select the morning, obviously they're indicating the next morning. It's only a 24-hour block. So this is just some examples of what they respond with. Then we're going to confirm their time zone. That way we can place the call in your appropriate time zone for a call back, okay? We also give them your phone number. So if they go through this process to request a call back, a couple of things are going to happen. You are going to get a task scheduled for you in Huddle to call this person back at the time they selected. We let you know what time that is and their time zone. This will come through in Huddle as a notification and a task on the calendar, but you should also, which is new, receive a text message letting you know that a customer requested a call back and when they requested that call back. Okay. All right, I'm just going to take a quick look at our questions, just moving right along. So that's attempted contact. Again, gives you an opportunity to help kind of bridge that follow-up with them. And then the next would be contact established. So this is an important one that I want to touch on. The first thing we saw that we've established contact with our customer and what happens next. So from a marketing perspective, they get enrolled in a series of emails depending on their search, and we enroll them on that to help engage our customers on your behalf. It will feature your photo and your information, your agent bio page throughout the marketing materials that they're sent. Another thing that happens after this stage is 4 days later, we will send them a survey about the experience, okay? We just simply ask them, how was your interaction with your partner agent so far? I will tell you the most common feedback that we used to receive was, who is this person? Like, why am I receiving this? So we used to send it out about a day or two after the stage was changed. And we pushed it out to 4 days to allow some time, because sometimes you may establish contact via text message or email. And maybe the follow-up is, hey, introducing myself, can we set up a phone call in a couple days? And they say yes, right? You've established contact, but you haven't really spoken to them yet. So this allows for some time for that initial call to happen. That has really drastically reduced the confusion on the customer's part about who our partner agents are and who 55 Places are. After doing this, the most common feedback that we receive, and likely if this has come in about you, you have heard from Mackenzie on it, the information that we receive is, I talked to this person and they did not call me back as promised. I requested information about this community and they said they would follow up with me and they didn't. I never received a call back as promised, so I've moved on to another agent that will return my phone calls. And we say that just to stress the importance of our follow-up, right? We know it's critical. We know it's a critical piece of our business. And I'm just wanting to share with you guys that the survey that we have indicates the same. The majority of all the feedback we receive is just from lack of follow-up. So if one comes in for you, Mackenzie will let you know. And then you can reach out to that individual to follow up accordingly, okay? All right, great. So again, these are just some critical components and important components that we talked about last month. Following up quickly, establishing contact with those individuals, making it clear who we are, sharing our agent bio page, sharing a little bit about ourselves and how you're there to help. Those were a lot of things we talked about last month. And the next piece is moving on to that first appointment, which is critical. So appointment completed. So this stage is reserved for a first completed appointment. The initial appointment can be rescheduled or canceled. And if you do cancel the appointment, the stage will move back to contact established. And this stage is what impacts the complete appointment completed metric and will help drive more leads your way. So what is this that we're talking about and how is it measured? So of the leads received in the last 90 days, how many did you meet with? That's what we're talking about here. Minimum performance is 5%. Okay, that's 1 out of every 20 leads having a completed appointment. Those top performers that we talked about, peak performance benchmark is 10%. those top performers that we're talking about are achieving appointment completed rates in the 15% plus because they are responding quickly. They are making it clear who they are. They're establishing that communication, responding to their inquiries, and getting them out on an appointment right away. Now, what could those appointments look like? We talked a lot about that too. That could be showing homes in person or virtually, especially if you're in a destination market. You'll want to utilize those virtual appointments. A virtual or in-person consultation, whether that's at your office, at a coffee shop, or over Zoom. Community tours, or just looking at the clubhouse. Maybe they're not ready to look at houses, but they want to see the amenities. That would count as well. And then listing appointments. Now, what it is not is that initial phone call, right? These are an appointment to get them moving in the right direction. Okay, so let's take a look here. Looks like there's a question that's being addressed, so thank you. Now, after we've moved through these active stages, right? We've scheduled our appointment. Hopefully the next progression is they're ready to buy a house, they're writing offers, you're submitting your contracts, which we do request you do within 24 hours. If you've completed your appointment and you get them under contract, don't wait to update Huddle, right? Those things help drive more leads your way. They help your ranking. And so by making sure to notify us, which also is in your agreement, of major or significant changes within 24 hours, that updates Huddle, drives more leads your way. So say maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're not active. Maybe they're not ready. So what do you do? What do you do with those individuals? There's a couple different options. There's our archive bucket and nurture. So I'm going to touch on our archive really briefly, and then we'll talk about nurture. So archive is really reserved for absolutely not a lead. Business solicitor, current homeowner, they're duplicates. Sometimes you may have like duplicate records. Remember, those don't count against you. Just one record, the initial record, is what holds the information. So sometimes duplicates pop up. They purchased somewhere else, they are an agent, or they specifically requested removal. So I'm going to touch on requested removal because it's something that we look at just about every day. And I will be fully transparent that it is a dumping ground of leads, because I think maybe there's some confusion on what nurture will do. So for example, when we look at it, you are required to put notes in when they go to requested removal. A lot of the notes that we see are requested removal. They want to rent for now. Requested removal. They can't afford a place right now. Requested removal. I was unable to contact them. Requested removal. They were unresponsive. Requested removal. They have an agent. All of these things that we see have a corresponding nurture reason. So what's the importance of using nurture over that archive requested removal? Well, we have email campaigns and ways to reach out to them to try and re-engage them specifically for those reasons on your behalf. And if you dump them in requested removal, we don't touch them. And we don't want to do that. So some of the nurture reasons that we have various email campaigns, but our call center is also reaching back out to them on your behalf, trying to re-engage them through a phone call. So I strongly encourage you guys to use that nurture bucket. Try, maybe it's not word for word, but likely you will be able to find a corresponding nurture reason to anybody that's not in an extremely active path. That gives us an opportunity to try and call them for you, email them, send them appropriate or corresponding emails. And then once they re-engage, it'll get handed back over to you. So allow us to take that part over and don't dump them in that requested removal, because that's like, hey, hands off, right? All right, so this is just kind of a snapshot of some of the things that they'll receive if you put them in a nurture path. Again, it's going to feature your photo. It'll link back to your information, and we'll try and re-engage them with articles that apply to why they're in that appropriate nurture bucket. So a few other things that I wanted to touch on before we move on to any additional questions, and one last common request is some of the communications that come from our team to you guys. So one of them is our inactive customer survey. So you may have seen this. What it'll tell you is that your opportunity has had no activity in the last 25 days within Huddle, or at least no logged activity that we can see. So we are giving you 5 days. On day 30, they'll be receiving an inactive survey in an attempt to re-engage them with you in 55 places. So if you have been communicating with them directly, which we absolutely, as you know, is usually the case, make sure to log a task in Huddle for each customer to avoid them getting a survey. So you'll have 5 days to do that. It is blacked out here, but then the name of the customer and a link to their record will be listed below. So again, we occasionally receive feedback from partner agents that are like, why is this inactive? I have been communicating with this person, or I have a task set up in 2 months. So that would be why. So if you're communicating with them separately, just make sure to log a task. If you have a future task scheduled, make sure it's not past that 30-day mark. A good practice is 1 task for every 30 days, whether that's a follow-up email or logging a phone call. If you log a task once every 30 days for somebody that's active, it'll prevent this from happening. The next one is the listing agent assigned email. And this is one that we get questions about, so I just wanted to kind of walk through it. So it'll come and it'll tell you your buyer opportunity, their name, their link to their record, expressed interest in selling their home outside of your market. We have referred them to a listing agent on 7-Eleven to help. Couple notes is, one, sometimes they express interest in selling prior to becoming a buyer opportunity. That's common with our demographic. Maybe they go through the process and they want to start inquiring about listing, and then they're going to inquire about buying in another area. So that may happen after, and then we will just notify you to give you as much information on their journey as possible. The area of the seller inquiry is not in your market as defined by 55 places. So this is really the biggest question we get around this. You guys will get this and say, hey, this person is selling their home in my market. It could be 2 blocks outside of your market. It could be 3 states away. And we wouldn't know necessarily, and it wouldn't make a difference. So this is your opportunity, of course, to sell yourself as their listing agent. Make sure they utilize you. This is not stopping you from doing that. Again, we're just trying to give you as much information as possible about what your customer is telling us they want to do. Again, if the listing opportunity is in our market boundaries that you are assigned to, the listing opportunity will go to you. We will not send that to someone else. Some rare occurrences would be, the only time that it wouldn't is if when they submitted the inquiry, they submitted it under like a different email, different phone number, or different information. Okay, I don't see any questions. We're going to go ahead and move forward with the last one. All right. Let's see here. So the next one is communications from 55 places that you get regarding the customer activity daily summary. So you will get a daily summary of your customers, letting you know the activity that they interacted with on the previous day. That could be that they opened an email about new homes that were listed. They opened an actual listing. They opened a newsletter. So all of that will be listed, and the link to their customer record will be on there. That way it can help you personalize your outreach to them. Now, this information is pulled into this email and also put in Huddle. So you'll see down here on the left-hand side, it says, this is a Huddle record, details, tasks, related files. Customer activity is where all of this information is housed. I am going to pause real quick and call out there that there was last month a small glitch that we were made aware of, that not everything in the email is being pulled into the Huddle record. So that is an open bug ticket that we have that we're actively trying to resolve to figure out like what is missing. It's not for everybody. Not everybody is having that issue, but some information is not pulling in. So I encourage you to look at the email. You can also check the customer activity tab. The majority of it will be there. And that is some of the information that we send you to help continue along that journey with those customers. All right, so I'm going to pause there and I'm going to switch over to our Huddle account that we use for testing. And the last thing that I want to cover that we have a lot of is our opportunity assignment request and our interagent referral requests. So if you receive a lead that is ultimately interested in another area and tells you they want to be assigned to an agent in another area, you will take care of this through Huddle. You may also have a customer that's buying but is interested in selling in another area. If you refer them through this program in Huddle, you will receive a percentage of that sale upon closing. So what are we talking about? So here it's in Huddle. So for example, say this was a lead that told you, you know what, I am actually interested in, they were interested in California, perhaps they're actually interested in Florida. So what you'll do is you'll complete this right here, opportunity assignment request. Okay. There's two reasons here: buyer for another area, which is going to be the most common, or agent listing referral. Now, this is reserved for customers that want to list their property outside of your market. You would go through this agent listing referral process. In the agent listing referral assignment, you are required to collect their address and submit. On the buyer, you don't need their street address, but you will at least need a city and state and zip code that they're interested in. That way we can make sure to assign them to the appropriate partner agent. You can add any notes in there. After you do that, if you're unsure of it, they just give you a city and state and you're unsure of the zip code, a simple Google search of any of the zip codes within that city and state would suffice. You'll fill that out. You'll hit next, and you'll get a confirmation that the assignment was made to a partner agent. Once that happens, your customer and you will receive an email introducing the new partner agent to them while still keeping you in the loop. Now, the point of that is this person will remain in your Huddle. They may ultimately decide they don't want to buy in Florida, that they do want to buy with you in California. So they will stay in your Huddle and they'll still have access to your contact information. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Let me close this out. I'm going to go back to our home page. Let's see here. I see there is a question about the daily activity, and it occasionally provides addresses. Is it possible to occur each time? So I do believe, Wendy, that is part of the existing bug that we have open. And I will check into that for you so we can see what's going on. Okay, so now last snapshot here of our Huddle homepage, which hopefully everybody is familiar with. Just a few key call outs. One, here's that help button. If you're unsure of our email or how to get in contact with us, you can simply click this and it will create a draft for you to that email address to reach out to us on. Your tasks, majority of these are all going to be self-scheduled tasks in Huddle that are due or overdue will be listed here for you to follow up. And then this is where the reports on those metrics, those key metrics that we talked about, are going to be listed. Your response time, of course, your sales, your appointment completed rate, it'll show here. Your funnel of leads and the different stages that you have, your warm transfer rate. Now, if you're unsure of maybe a call, right, and a response time, and you're thinking maybe it got logged as a long response time, you can always double check right here before raising the concern. So if you open up this average response time report, it's going to give you the specifics of what is going on with those leads. So it'll give you the date, the name, and then this will tell you, maybe you thought this one, you were on the phone with them for 45 minutes to an hour, and that you thought that the response time didn't log correctly. You can double check here and see if it was or not. So I encourage you guys to get familiar and comfortable with this, kind of navigating the reports as much as possible to help drive those metrics of success to drive more leads your way. All right. Yes, there was a question about the text number for the day off notification. I'm going to bounce back over to that real quick so you guys can have a copy of that. It is right here. And we will open it up for any additional questions that were not covered, or if there's anything you would like to see demonstrated on the call. Give it just a few minutes to see if there's anyone that has anything. All right, wonderful. Well, no questions are coming in. Again, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate your partnership and making time to join us today. Um, hope you were able to take away something. This was recorded. We will send it out. And of course, if there's anything that we went through today that you have a question or concerned about, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all.